Hello everyone and welcome to today's investor update for Dotz Nano Limited. My name is John Hurst and I will be moderating this webinar. Today you will hear from Dotz Nano Chairman Mr. Bernie Brooks and Dotz Nano Chief Executive Officer Mr. Sharon Mulca, who will make a presentation on the company's proposed acquisition of assets from H2 Blue. Questions can be submitted at any time during this webinar. To ask a question, press on the Q&A icon. This will open a new screen. At the bottom of that screen, there is a section for you to type your question. Once you have finished typing, please hit enter on your keyboard to send. Please note that while you can submit questions from now on, your questions will be addressed at the end of Mr. Malka's presentation. Please also note that your questions may be moderated, or if we receive multiple questions on one topic, amalgamated together. Due to time constraints, we may run out of time to answer all of your questions. If this happens, we will answer them in due course via email or posting responses on our website. I ask that you keep your questions short and to the point so that as many attendees as possible have a chance to ask a question. I will now hand over to Mr. Brooks for his opening comments.
Yeah, thanks, John, and good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're visiting us from. Firstly, a welcome to fellow shareholders and also a welcome to all interested parties. I'd like to also mention that the rest of our board is present on the Zoom today. There's Doron, who is obviously Doron, Kerry, and also Ian Parmensky, who's here as well, our company secretary. I'll introduce Sharon in a moment. But just wanted to highlight that the purpose of this is to follow up with Friday's ASX announcement regarding the acquisition of the H2 Blue technology and assets. As you know, Dotz has two main areas of focus, the first being in-product tagging and the second now being carbon-based sorbent technology. And so Sharon will give us a fulsome update of the acquisition and also how the carbon capture technology works. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Sharon, because it's probably the first opportunity a lot of you have had to see him or meet him. He really is quite a seasoned executive with enormous amount of experience in both public and private sectors, a really good, strong track record of execution. Before joining Dotz, he served as the Chief Executive Officer for MediWound Limited, a NASDAQ-listed biopharmaceutical company, where he certainly delivered an enormous amount for that company. Prior to that, he was a partner at Variance Economic Consulting and also in a previous life was a senior partner at PwC. He's a certified CPA. He's got a degree in business administration and an MBA from Israel University as well. So we're very fortunate that Sharon's joined us. He's joined us at an exciting time with this acquisition and certainly has done a tremendous job getting up to speed. So let me now hand over to Sharon, who'll give you an update on the acquisition.
Thank you very much, Bernie. Good afternoon to the ones that join us from Australia, and good morning to the ones joined from Israel. My name is Sharon Mulca, and I'm the CEO of Dotz. I joined, as Bernie mentioned before, 2 months ago to join, and I appreciate this opportunity, giving this tremendous opportunity that we have ahead of us. Today, I'm going to tell you about the acquisition of a carbon capture technology, which we announced on last Friday, why we believe it's a transformative acquisition for Dotz, and our plans moving forward. But before I start with the transaction overview, I would like to brief you with Dotz to those of you who are less familiar with Dotz. So Dotz is a nanotechnology company, and we provide solutions to address global and environmental and industrial challenges. We do have 2 platform technologies offering ESG solutions. The first one is a carbon-based tagging solution for anti-counterfeiting and monitoring. And the second one is a carbon-based sorbents technology for industrial decarbonization. The first technology, tagging solution, is a validated technology in a commercial phase when it's proven technology where we develop an upscale. Both technologies are targeting attractive, large, and focused end market. We have experienced leadership team with proven track record, and we have near-term growth drivers ahead of us. And now let's look at the acquisition. As announced last week, we acquired an innovative and promising carbon capture technology, which we believe it's the next generation of carbon capture. The technology utilizes plastic waste to produce carbon-based solid sorbent for capturing and storing CO2. This technology was developed at Rice University in the US by Dr. James Storr, who has tremendous experience with new technologies, innovative technologies, and I'm sure that you are familiar with part of his inventions. One of them is the company named Weebit, and this technology was characterized and validated by Sintef, which is the European largest independent research organization focusing on climate technologies. This is performance-based deal structure consists of limited upfront consideration and additional contingent consideration, which comprise of cash, shares, and options, all payable upon achievement of certain milestones as described in the table below. This strategic acquisition aligns with the business growth strategy of Dotz. This innovative carbon capture technology is the next phase of our strategic evolution. We view this acquisition as highly synergetic acquisition and valuable addition to Dotz. It provides us with additional robust platform for growth with strong value enhancement. It's an ideal and a platform to enter the carbon capture space, where the scale of opportunity is significant, and it has a strong technological alignment with our core capabilities. Now, I would like to discuss about the carbon capture space. The CO2 capture industry is undergoing a significant growth while playing a critical role in energy transition. Backed by strong tailwind, which mainly driven by climate-focused policies and government incentives, I would like to share with you a few of the main drivers for this market. The first driver for this market is why carbon capture will play a major role in energy transition. And given the reliance on fossil fuel as a key energy source of energy, the carbon capture is only viable solution for deep decarbonization, industrial decarbonization. The second driver that I would like to share with you is the growing demand globally for carbon capture. According to the International Energy Agency, it is estimated that by 2015, about 6 gigatons of CO2 must be captured and separated. The market opportunity of that is estimated at about 600 billion in 2050 and more than 100 billion in 2030. But not only that, given the fact that the demand is much higher than the plant capacity, assuming all current technology will be developed successfully, in order to achieve net zero emission by mid-decade, it will require the deployment of all available carbon capture technologies. And the last driver that I want to share with you is the current economics driver that drive the carbon capture adoption. And the reason for that is that currently there is a fair value for every ton of carbon. The carbon capture tax credit now is estimated about 85 to 100 euro per ton, and it's increasing. That provides an ability to leverage and utilize carbon capture technologies as the most cost-efficient way for industrial decarbonization. In addition, government incentives will boost investment in carbon technologies and deployment. Now that we understand the potential of the carbon capture industry and why we believe it represents a significant market opportunity, I would like to share with you why we believe this new technology that we acquired represents the next generation of solid carbon capture technologies. Generally speaking, there are two major technologies for carbon capture. The first one is the chemical solvent-based approach, and the second one is the physical solvent-based approach. The chemical approach is commercially proven already, and it's practiced in many industries, but it's associated with multiple challenges, including energy and capex intensive process, large facility and equipment size. It's also associated with unintentional toxic emission, and the amines are susceptible for degradation. That is why in the last few years, the physical approach gets more advanced and represent an alternative for the chemical one, for the chemical approach. The physical approach suggests an energy efficient approach to capture CO2, lower cost of construction and ownership, and selective segregation of the carbon. When we look at our new technology, we believe it's the next generation of carbon capture. And the reason for that is that the activated carbon-based sorbent derived from plastic waste as the main sorbent component, doubling the impact. By that, we are addressing the two key environmental challenges: recycling plastic waste and industrial decarbonization. This technology provides benefit over existing technologies, which I will elaborate in the next few slides, including energy efficiency, low cost of ownership, and environmentally friendly, and it's backed by science. As mentioned at the intro, this technology was developed by Dr. Gemtor at Rice University in the US, same like our previous technology, the first technology, and other technologies that are utilized and already commercialized worldwide. And it was fully characterized and validated by SINTEF, the European largest entity for climate technologies. This technology is built for industry. It's modular, scalable, and adaptable across multiple industries. And it's associated and backed by multiple families of patents and a lot of know-how. When we look at the process of manufacturing this sorbent, so on one hand, it's pretty simple process. It's a pyrolysis process, thermal treatment, where we combine our secret sauce. It's a combination of plastic and salt. And by this combination, using this thermal process, we end up with two products. The first one is the key product, or the key goal of this process, which is the polymeric nanoporous sorbent, which has optimal pore size to capture and store CO2 molecules. But we have also, by this product, valuable byproducts as part of this process of recycling plastic, which include waxes, gases, and chemicals that have value and can generate additional revenues. When we tested this technology before we acquired and get into this deal, we validated the performance of this deal, and it was published in a peer-reviewed paper. But we wanted to verify what we have on hand. And we understand the following. First, the performance of this sorbent, the capacity of capturing CO2 was estimated at about 70% weight. Moreover, when we tested multiple sources of plastic as a key source of the sorbent, we saw that all of them end up with the same performance level. And not less important, the stability of the sorbent. The stability of the sorbent provides us with the ability to use this sorbent up to 100 times with no capacity decline, which provides us with three main benefits of this solvent. The first one is the environmental friendly. This is the only technology that utilizes plastic waste in order to generate a solid solvent. The second one is the cost efficiency, given the fact that the lower cost of energy, lower cost of ownership, and lower cost of producing this solvent. And last one is modular, simple, and easy to apply. And to better understand why it's modular, simple, let's look at the next slide. And this is an illustrative design of a future plant to capture CO2. And as you can see, we start with the flue gas, ending up from the facility, getting into the sorbent, capture within the sorbent, enabling us to execute or to regenerate the sorbent and get the CO2 and rich CO2 into transport and storage, and regenerate and reuse this sorbent. So you can see it's a modular one, easy to apply, enabling to adopt it simply in every small, medium emitter, industrial emitter. And let me share it with the development plan of this technology. So in the first year, we plan to optimize this sorbent and to provide a sorbent with the better performance in terms of capacity, better performance in terms of lifetime. In addition, we plan to scale up it in terms of manufacturing this sorbent, ending up at the second year with a bench scale unit, enabling us to get to the third year and have a lab scale pilot unit, which is a prototype, an industrial prototype, active in industrial emitter. This will enable us in the fourth year to have industrial commercial units with collaboration with others. In order to do so, we plan to seek strategic partnership with R&D partners, engineering partners, and CMOs, and we plan to secure further grants to support the development, further grants to support the development of the sorbent, further grants to support the development of the process, and later on grants to support the deployment and utilization of this technology moving forward. Now let's join the dots. Now that we understand the add-on of these new technologies, I would like to share with you the new dots post this add-on. And as mentioned at the beginning, as a nanotechnology company, we provide solutions addressing global environmental and industrial challenges. Both platform technologies are based on our carbon-based nanotechnologies. On one hand, we have the Dotz Shield, the tagging solution for anti-counterfeiting and monitoring. This solution is in the commercial phase, and we are targeting the oil and gas and chemical sectors. The second vertical, the second platform, is Dotz Earth, which is the sorbent for capturing an industrial decarbonization. This one is the new add-on under development, but targeting the same sectors. So with that, we have two technologies based on carbon-based nanotechnologies and targeting the same sectors. And I would like to share with you and use this opportunity to share with you some updates about the current technology, which is now in the commercial phase. We successfully developed dozens of optical taggants in the recent years, and we completed with a full end-to-end solution, which include also an in-field mobile readers, an IT management system. This end-to-end solution was validated by multiple field trials with end users for multiple applications. Recently, we completed a comprehensive market research led by McKinsey, and now we are focusing on two sectors that are representing growth opportunity for us: the oil and gas sectors and the chemical sectors. As reported in our first quarter activity report, we are running now an industrial large-scale field trials with a NASDAQ-listed leading company, multi-billion company from US, in multiple sites, and hopefully, if it's successful, we will gain a commercial agreement with this market player. In order to do so, we have an experienced board and executive team with a proven track record of execution, and I believe this team are able to execute on our strategy. Recently, given the acquisition of the new technology, we enhanced our leadership team with special matter experts from the energy and the climate tech sector. I would like to point out one of them, which is Glenn Kelly. Glenn Kelly was the CEO of H2Blue, the seller of this new technology, who joined our company as the head of the carbon capture technology. Glenn brings with him more than 35 years of energy and climate tech sector. In addition, we have an advisory board supported by James Torr, which provides us with the scientific background, and Mitch Board, which is based in Australia and provides us with vast experience in energy and climate tech sectors. And I would like to share with you the strategic priorities of our company, which are focusing as follows. First, to accelerate and the commercialization of Dotz Shield, our carbon-based tagging solutions. The second priority is advancing the development of Dotz Earth, our carbon-based solid technology. And as you can see, for Dotz Shield, for our tagging solution, we plan to complete the large-scale field trial, ending up with a strategic partnership, which we hope to get and secure by next year. With Dotz Earth, as detailed before, we continue the sorbent optimization, scale up, ending up with industrial unit. And let me leave you with that. We have diversified portfolio of 2 platform technologies offering ESG solutions. The first one is commercialized and validated. The second one under development, both targeting large, focused, and attractive end market. We have an experienced team in place to execute on our strategy, and we have a lot of near-term catalysts ahead of us. And with that, I conclude the presentation, and I will turn the call back to John for a Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. We have had a few questions that have come through. First one is, can you please explain a little bit more about how this new technology is complementary to your existing business?
Thank you, John, for the question. So it's complementary to our business in several folds. First of all, our core competence, which is the R&D capabilities. We already proven that we are able to source a new technology at the early stage, to develop it, scale up it, and now to commercialize it, to get it into commercialization. The same team, the same capabilities will be utilized also to develop the new technology from this stage through scale up and get it through commercialization. The second fold is the end market. Both technologies are targeting the same sectors, which are mainly the oil and gas and the chemical sectors. So we're actually expanding our offering for the same end user. And by that, we are extending the growth opportunities for those.
Thank you, Sharon. Another question is, can you give us a little bit of background as to how you came across this new opportunity?
Thank you for the question. So it started before even I joined the company, and I will let Bernie to add to my response. But generally speaking, Dotz always looking an opportunity to grow as part of its strategy. As mentioned during the presentation, this acquisition is the next steps of our strategic evolution and in line with our strategic growth opportunities. And we actually analyze and assess multiple technologies that can be a benefit for us. We view the market potential for carbon capture as a significant market opportunity with huge demand and with strong alignment with our capabilities. And we thought that this technology, which we believe represent the next generation of solid sorbent, is the right one to get it in and to develop it. And Ben, if you'd like to add, please.
I think there's a couple of other just sort of added benefits. And firstly, we are already working in the oil and gas environment. So therefore, the gases, obviously, that escape through can be captured and converted into sorbents. So we're already quite active in that space. We have a research and development facility, and I think we've already come to grips with the nanodot technology very, very well, and we've got an experienced team. So that also makes it attractive. And also the benefit of working with Rice University also provided us with some added benefits. So we're quite comfortable that for the synergies, the upside, the remarkable nature of the technology, and added to that also the fact that we understand it and we have a reputation in that area, that we're comfortable that it was the right acquisition to make.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Bernie. Another question that has come in, can you give us some timeline, if possible, about how long you'll take to get this technology into a commercial phase?
So as stated in the presentation, and I'll try to recap it again, there are multiple stages to get it to commercialization. It will take about 3 years to get a prototype unit, an industrial prototype unit. Within this period, we plan to optimize the sorbent, to scale up the manufacturing of the sorbent, and ending up having a bench scale unit. And in the 3rd year, have a prototype industrial unit with a capacity of about 1 ton per day. This unit is a major catalyst and a major milestone in the development of this technology. While this technology will be proven and will be successful, we will be able in the 4th year to execute on industrial units with multiple or different capacities.
Thank you, Sharon. We've received a follow-on question from that. What sort of revenue do you see coming from this technology?
So it's a great question. First of all, this space is currently evolving, and we see more and more new industrial units deployed. Most of them will be deployed in 24, 25, but still it's evolving. And I'm saying that because there are multiple business models to capitalize the potential of the carbon capture. Just for the illustration, one model is usually based on royalties, where you actually sell the unit to the industrial emitter and get royalties based on the capacity captured. Usually, it can around the $10 per ton, the royalty. And there are other models where you get paid for and take care of all the tax credit, and you gain all the cost saving. And I want to elaborate a little bit because it's important to understand it. The current tax credit is approximately $85 to $100, and it's expected to increase. The cost of capture today is estimated at about $60 per day. So there is a margin of about $25 to $35 per ton. This cost saving will be probably the one that will be a revenue shared between the multiple parties, the engineering party, the technology part, and the industrial emitter. So you can do the math, and I don't know what will be the exact portion of each one of them, but anywhere between 25 to 30% of this cost saving, plus a markup on the capex establishment of this facility, will provide revenues which are derived on the capacity or based on the capacity. Our goal is to have multiple units across the globe in multiple industries, targeting the sector that we are already active, which is the oil and gas and chemical. They are usually assessed as the low to mid emitters. And this is where we plan to generate revenues.
Thank you, Sharon. At this stage, there's just one other question. What sort of competitive space is there in this new technology? And what sort of plans do you have to tackle the competitors?
So I will start with the competition, and then I will get one step back and to better understand the competitive landscape. So in terms of competition, as I mentioned before, there are two main approaches, the chemical approach and the physical approach. The chemical approach currently targeting large emitters and associated with multiple challenges, mainly the cost of capture, the CapEx, the capital expenditure required to establish and own such a facility, and the premises it requires. It's a huge facilities, but it works. On the other hand, there is also competition within the physical approach. Within the physical approach, there are multiple alternatives or multiple technologies, including MOFs, silicates, and carbon-based sorbents. Each one has its own benefit. As I mentioned before, our three main benefits over all other sorbents, on top of the benefits of sorbent compared to the chemical approach, is one, environmental friendly, given the fact that we are converting plastic waste into sorbent for industrial decarbonization. Two, cost efficient, lower cost of ownership, lower OpEx and energy required, and very low expenses to produce this carbon, given the fact that we are using plastic waste. And the third one is the fact that it's modular and easy to deploy in multiple sectors. So this is in terms of the specifics of the competition. But if you take one step back or 10,000 miles, so if you remember, when I described the demand, the IEA, the International Energy Agency, estimated that by 2050, in order to meet the targets set in the Paris Agreement, they will be required to segregate and capture about 6 gigaton of carbon. Assuming all current technologies under development will be successfully developed, we will end up with a capacity which is about 25 to 30% of this demand. It means that all technologies probably will be deployed, and it's all a matter of matching between the technology and the industrial emitter. It will be split between different emitters based on the scale of emissions, based on the size of the facility, and other parameters.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon and Bernie, at this stage, there are no more questions. So I think we should bring the webinar to a close, and unless anybody has a sort of a last-minute question, I'll just wait and see if anybody wants to come in for just a moment. No, so it doesn't look like we've got any more questions. So I'd like to thank all of the participants for attending today. The company looks forward to providing you all with a further update at the company's annual general meeting on May 30, which is just a week away. So again, thank you all for your participation today.
Thank you all.